We got some fun stuff tonight on Detect America. But I first want to put everyone in the mood. Because you know what? You got to slow down. You move too fast.
Slow down, you move too fast.
And you know what?
You got to make
everybody relax. Just relax.
Kicking down
Relax.
the cobblestone.
And I want everybody just to feel groovy. Feel groovy. All right? Just tonight, the word is groovy. Okay?
Feeling groovy.
Feeling groovy. We have some fun. Got some topics to hit. I got a guest for us tonight. And we're going to let it roll. Gonna let it roll. And I got to tell you guys, I'll probably get into this at the end of the show. But listen, I'm running this solo. Unfortunately, I talked to Frank tonight. He's not feeling well. So, again, he's not making the show. And it's a shame. He's up, he's down, he's hurting. So, I don't know what going to happen for his short term here, but listen, I'm stepping up. Like I told you, I'm going to come here. I'm going to try and do the best I can. Somebody put a post up there, and I'm thinking that I might have spelled something wrong when I did. You know what? When I sit down and do this stuff, I type fast. So I may have spelled something wrong, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. All right, here's the deal. I got to tell you something before we get into our guest. We're probably going to talk about this. Outer space, folks. I have been doing nothing but watching the Artemis 2 mission. I can't take my eyes off it. But I want to tell you something. I have an in. You may not know this, but I have an in with NASA. We were scheduled to have an in-flight conversation with the folks in Orion, the capsule that's out there. However, they're on the backside of the moon, and they can't communicate with us. They were scheduled to come on the show. They went in the backside of the moon, but I was in contact with NASA, and I've got the initial reports of what occurred when they got on the backside of the moon. They were in for a shock. They were really. There's nothing I can say. I can't really explain it. I'll just have to show you. But that's what they found, folks. That's what they found on the dark side of the moon. That's it. I can't believe it. I don't know if our guest can see that. Can you see that? Can you see that picture? All right, so I don't know if my guest can hear me. Let's bring our guest in tonight, folks. We have George Potts from the Southern New England Relic Hunters Club. George.
Frank, you're going to have to hold on. I seem to have
you just got on here. What the heck did you do now? You were there.
We go. Hey, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I disappeared.
Are you here to sabotage my show? Did you come in to sabotage my show? You were there. You go. Don't touch it.
Here I am.
My God. My God, almost my whole show. Did you hear what I said about the Artemis mission?
No. So they went on the dark side of the moon.
And you see
then I saw the picture and I lost audio for a second.
That's it. That's what they found on the backside of the moon. That's what's there.
Nice.
Do you believe that that's what the backside of the moon looks like?
It could be. It could be. Listen, I'll believe anything. I'll believe anything nowadays.
What do you think about this Artemis mission? What's your take on it?
Well, yeah, I think. Well, first of all, it's a world event. You know, I mean, the whole world is watching this. This isn't just the United States. But I think it is fascinating. The fact that in just the inherent danger of when they go on that backside of the moon, there's no audio.
Right.
They can't talk to anybody. Nobody can talk to them. So, God forbid anything happen. We would never know.
Honestly, I think they kind of overhyped this because all you got was, we're going back to the moon. They're just going around it. Okay, that's fine. And they're going further than any man has gone before. Okay, there, Captain Kirk. Great job. I love it. But I watch it. I watch it continuously, and I'm really into it. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Would you get on that capsule? Would you jump on that rocket?
Yes, I think I would, just for the fact that of being one of the ones that has done it, if that makes sense. Just being able to say that I've done something like that. Listen, I went out one time and decided that I would skydive and jump out of a moving
Don't get
working
me
airplane.
started. I want to
And
do it.
just to say that I did, just to say that I went skydiving once.
Do you know I went there once to do it? I was 4 pounds overweight, and they told me no.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now listen, I want to ask you a question because
Sure.
when I was probably like 5 or 6, okay, I remember clearly. I filled out an application. I sent it to NASA saying I wanted to be an astronaut. I never got a phone call.
Maybe you'll still get one. We do
You
know
know,
the government's slow, Steve.
Did it? You know what? The U.S. government is slow, and I've been hanging on that thread for the longest time now.
Yeah. Listen,
I
they
would.
might call you up and say, "Hey, we need you to go on Artemis 3."
Oh, so I was. You know what? I was sitting around the table. Now, you don't know this, but I have a granddaughter. She's the world to me. She's 20 years old. She's a beautiful kid. Does great in school. We're sitting at the table the other night, and I said, I would do it. I said I would get on there, and she goes, it wouldn't leave the ground with you on it.
Geez,
I mean,
thanks.
like she said it like that, and I'm like, seriously, kid, you know what? I pay for everything for you, and that's the gratitude. But
Yep. Didn't even pause.
I would do it. I would listen. I could just imagine the power you feel
Oh my
on
God.
liftoff.
Yeah.
On liftoff. You know,
Yeah.
that capsule's about 300 feet high, and you're in the tippy top of it. That's all fuel pushing you to
Yeah.
outer space.
Yeah. Listen, I got excited when I went on the Aerosmith rock and roller coaster and went 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds.
See what I mean? Yeah.
So I can imagine how excited I'd get,
Oh my
if I
God,
went on
the
a
amount of
rocket.
thrust on that. So they went around the moon, and now they're on their way back. So,
Yep.
you know, I'm sure there's a lot of top secret stuff that went on back there. They didn't just, oh, we're just flying around the moon. You know, they're documenting. They're looking to colonize the moon, and they want to do it on the backside. So they were looking for landing zones and photographing. There's no way that they didn't do a complete scan. And they only went around once. I'm surprised they wouldn't. Like, why wouldn't you go around a couple times? But technology probably only is all that needs.
Yeah, probably just give them a 3D scan of the whole moon.
All right, now let's talk about George.
All right.
Because we invited you on the show. I think you're pretty interesting. You are the president of the Southern New England Relic Hunters Club.
Mm-hmm.
But most of all, you are a retired police officer. And it's funny because you reached out and, and said, hey, you want to join me on a show? So I went in your profile and I saw cop. And I'm like, oh my God, not another cop. Why are all cops metal detectors? Do you know of any reason why we all do this?
That's actually a good question. I have a few that are in my club that are retired.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the peace of mind. That's my opinion.
Probably.
When you're a police officer, you're dealing with the public, the good, the bad, and you're dealing with the hustle and bustle, of everything going on. And I think metal detecting is so relaxing to get out to that, out in the woods, get out in the beach,
Away from
wherever you
people.
decide with your headphones on and just, go out and do your own thing. I think that's what the attraction is, but I could be wrong, or it could
It
be
just seems to
just,
attract a lot of police officers, and I think it's great. And thank God, not too many firemen do it.
We have a few,
You,
but we
you
still
guys,
battle that out. The
do you
firemen and the
ever
cops.
just beat them up for fun at any of your meetings and stuff? And I
No,
mean,
sometimes I actually sit there and I say, I probably should have been a fireman because
yeah,
everyone loves a
we always say,
fireman,
yeah,
Steve.
yeah. Well,
Everybody loves firemen. You never
the
hear
only
anybody
reason why
bad mouthing firemen.
the only reason why they're not cops is they couldn't pass the test. So I
Yeah,
love it.
well, Steve said that, not me. No, I'm kidding.
So, all right, the usual questions. Okay, everybody, how long have you been metal detecting?
So I would say on the heavier side of like 7 or 8 years.
Good.
Right before. Now, let me go back. I started metal detecting as a kid, but not really
Right,
getting
right.
serious into
I
it.
understand.
And that really was after I retired. So right after I retired from my first police job in 2015. So now that I think about it, geez, you're talking probably 9 or 10 years now. Um, it was right after I retired, and I had a little more time because that's one thing I just didn't have time when I was working.
Right,
All the
right. I
overtime
got you.
shifts and everything like that. So yeah, so probably 9 or 10 years now. And I am, thank God, for my wife and her understanding. Because if I'm not at my other job now, I am out detecting. Now that it's nice, I'll be out there until it's dark. Really, I'll go out
What's
every day if I can.
what's your go-to machine?
So I'm a mind lab uh person. I do like my mind labs. I still my go-to, if I absolutely can pick it, is the Equinox 600. I still
Okay,
love my Equinox 600. However,
I
I
love that
do have a
machine,
Deus 2 and a Manicore.
dude.
I do love those machines, but
Dude? I for some reason I feel that this is not a side by side show. This is a mirror. You're seriously, except for one little thing that we're going to talk about. You're like a mirror of me. You know, I had the Equinox 800. I loved
yep,
it. I went to
yep,
the D2. I loved it, and now I'm
yep,
on the Manicore, and I'm liking that. We just like
yep,
seem to
yeah,
have mirrored the lives here.
yep. And
But
I think the Equinox is it's such a simple machine. Yeah, I mean, literally, it's
yeah,
almost
but
short of turn on and go.
listen,
Um,
uh,
you know,
almost any machine now can be used as a turn on
yeah.
and go. But however, I'll tell you what, I found so much gold with the Equinox, it was pathetic. And then one summer, I forget what happened. My Equinox was broke, so I borrowed Frank's. Dude, I found a ton of gold with his Equinox, man. It was so funny. I was breaking his stones. We were saying his Equinox found more gold than mine.
Yeah, yeah.
But now the difference between you and I, and we had talked about this, is I like to tout myself as primarily a beach hunter.
Mhm.
Because when the summer hits, I'm at the beach all the time. You, on the other hand, and you're from Connecticut, on the other hand, are a relic guy. You said you like your relics
Yep.
and you like to relic hunt. So what type of terrain do you usually detect?
So right now is prime where we are for cornfields. Cornfields they haven't been seeded yet.
Right.
So right now we're hitting cornfields, but we're out in the woods primarily. We're out, we use lidar and we look for old cellar holes, and we'll trek out in the woods for a couple miles if we have to. But yeah, that's my forte is relics.
Like
And
you say you go a couple miles, like from the nearest convenience stores, because I'm always within a mile of a convenience store, no matter what I'm doing. So if I can't really leave a convenience store anymore.
yeah, well, Connecticut is, as you know, is very small. So really, uh, within 20 minutes of driving from anywhere, you can literally be out in the middle of nowhere. You
Okay.
can go from a suburban, highly populated area to the countryside in minutes. So even though it might be a couple of miles out in the woods, we're still nearby to
Now,
convenience
when you say
stores.
you go in the woods,
Hmm.
whose woods are they? Are they just woods?
Yeah, usually, I mean, it all depends. We do try to get permissions if it's private land. We always
Right,
get permission from the owners. But yeah, most of the time it's just state-owned land that's just
right.
nobody. It's just overgrown. Nothing's there.
But
At
you
some point there
like
was a
check
house there
all
for
that.
some reason.
But you
So
check all the boundaries and whatever you're doing, right? I guess. Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. Onyx Hunt is my favorite little
Yeah.
pocket app. I'm looking to make sure, and especially I think because of being a president of a club, plus my profession of being a police officer, I really make sure I follow boundaries and respect the rules and so forth.
Yeah, I try to do the same. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't get involved. I can't necessarily get involved in nefarious affairs, we'll
Hmm.
say.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. Yep. It took me too long to build up my reputation to lose it over something
right. Yeah, I try to be on the
trivial.
honest. I mean,
Yeah.
we all, it is what it
Yeah.
is, but I try to, you know, be
Yeah.
square. You really do. You try and be square. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you
Uh,
know what? There's enough out there that even being on the up and up, you can still find plenty, without having to
yeah, well, see, that's the one
bend the
reason
rules.
I like beaches because they're public and
Hmm.
no one can tell me to really leave.
Yep.
Um, I I've told everybody as I was telling you today, I cannot get permission for anything. The opposite has happened to me. People have said, "Sure, come on and hunt." Yeah, you can. And I call and say I'd like to come out, and they go, "Yeah, yeah." Oh, my wife said it's not a good. They give me. You know what I mean? And they're like,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on. You know what? We were trying to pass a law. As I'm going to say, we were trying to pass a law that in New Jersey. Now I'm going to show you. Let me see if I got this. Oh, why can't I? I'm trying to put a picture up, and of course I can't. So, try to pass a law where just like me and my friend Rich um, can hunt on any property we want. Like, how do I put it? Like, if there's a farm and like we should be allowed, just him and I, just to go on there and detect. Like, you
Well,
know what I
listen,
mean?
if for some reason that passes, please let me know so I can give it to my lawmakers up here in Connecticut.
Well, I mean, like just like me now. All right, so here, here's my buddy there. This guy, let me tell you something. Amaze balls, this guy. He's the greatest guy in the world. Oh, is it share? Yeah, greatest guy in the world. Why is that picture there? Oh, okay, part of my Facebook. But so I'm always out with him and we goof around and he's just fun.
Yeah. Yep.
And I
Yeah.
I gotta throw kudos his way. And listen, I tell you what, this guy's 86 years old, okay? No lie. And he detects like a madman.
Good
Like
for
a
him.
jack, he's like a jackrabbit out there, right?
Yep.
But he just got the manicure along with me, and he has problems remembering how to do things.
Yeah.
All right, so we go to detect, and I look back, and he's standing there looking at the machine, and I know he's just lost, like clueless, and it's a shame. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, how can I, instead of me going through and doing all this stuff for him, he's got to learn it. So I created some videos. We created videos. Now, if anyone has this problem with anyone or even yourself, I created a video, I put it on his phone, and that was the other thing. When I said, give me your phone, open your photos, he's like, huh? I'm like,
Yeah.
great. I'm going to create videos that he don't even know how to open on his phone.
Yeah.
But we did. I sat there, I did a video on how to pair the headphones because for some reason, when he turns his machine on, the headphones have to be paired every time.
It
My
happens to me with the Manicore sometimes too.
my machine is the opposite. I turn it on, it's looking for the headphones.
Really. Yeah.
And I did a video for that, the ground balance, the noise cancel, and the search menus. Because if he's on the beach, and you know what? The other day we went detecting, he turned it on and he paired up the headphones all on his own.
No, that's a plus right there because that
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that can be a pain sometimes.
And
Mhm.
and you know what? I've been through these situations with older folks, and it's frustrating for them. And
Yeah,
I just if anyone's out there and they're having a situation with some of their friends kind of forgetting things, man, that like 50 first dates, you make a video. I had to start out with a video going, okay, so your name is Richard Fawns. You
yeah,
live at such and such, because he forgets.
yeah, yeah,
I send him
yeah.
home from my house, and we get calls from the middle of Pennsylvania that he's found driving around aimlessly
Oh,
because
jeez.
he misses his turn to go to his house.
Yep, yep.
He's beyond being a silver alert. He's now a golden alert. He's a golden alert. Okay, so north, southern, southern New England Relic.
Southern New England Relic Hunters.
That's what I was trying to get at.
There you go.
So you started this club.
Yeah. Yep.
So are you nuts?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I do think I am. Um,
You got a
it's
little
a
bit of ADD, don't you?
it's a lot. Oh God, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. You know what? Listen, I thank God they didn't have these
Yeah, medications. Oh, I'd have been.
psychiatrists and everything back when we were younger, because we probably missed out on the boat on quite a few of our diagnoses.
I would no diagnosis. I would have been on every spectrum they had.
Yeah.
The poster child for every medication. They would have doped me
Yep.
up so bad.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, and you said you started this group about 3 years ago.
Yeah, just it was 3 years ago this past November. So really now I guess we're looking at like 3.5 years ago.
What does it take to start a group? Tell me are you a nonprofit?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm probably a out of my pocket profit.
Yeah. Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I
definitely.
definitely lose money every year. So basically, what happened was there was a club up here in Connecticut, Awesome Relics, New England. You've heard of it. They're pretty popular. They're just like a Facebook page now, but they were a club, and the president at the time, basically after 5 years, said he was not going to do it anymore. So I, at that time, decided, well, I'm just going to hop on it right now if nobody else is gonna, and I'm going to start my own club and bring it down to my neck of the woods in Connecticut, so I don't have to travel the hour like I was to go to these meetings.
Well, no, not
And
if you're the president. You should have it close to your house.
well, exactly. So I that's exactly what I did, and yeah, and it grew faster than I thought, to be honest with you.
But you got your what's it called, the 501c. You
Yep,
apply.
yep. That's all. That is all. My wife, she actually just got done. We just got done filing with the state. Connecticut.
Yeah. I looked at, you know
Connecticut
what?
likes
I
their
looked
money.
into that. New Jersey's pretty strict. I looked into that for about 5 minutes and said, that's too much work.
Oh yeah, no, it's a pain. I got to register with the state every year. I have to pay them money. It's just, it is what it is.
I gotta register with this. I gotta register with the state all the time, but that's for a totally different reason. We'll talk about that later. Um,
So yeah, and then on top of that, I also have insurance for the club.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
so um, I just got done paying both of those this past month. So it adds up. And I try not to raise the price, of belonging to the club too much, because I don't
Tell
want
us.
to
So
price people out.
how much does it cost to join your club?
So for the year, it's $50, which includes a buffet style meal each month, at where we have our meetings, which is Philomena's Restaurant in Waterford, Connecticut. They have
Whoa,
awesome
hold on.
food.
Oh, you're talking free food?
Oh yeah, free food, and that
Wait a
food
minute.
is all included. Last month we
Oh,
had corned beef and cabbage. So I mean, we
hold
have some
on.
pretty decent meals.
You're talking my language now. We
Yeah,
got it.
that's what. Listen, I've always said you want people to come, feed them, and you'll
I mean, just hold on one second. Hey Siri, how long would it take me to drive to the Southern New England Relic Hunters Club meeting? Oh my God, that's pretty cool. So I'm sure that helps. So
Yep,
you you start this group.
yep.
How do you start to attract members?
Um, so I was fortunate enough that again, Connecticut's small, and most of the detectorists in Connecticut all know each other, know of each other. I reached out to a couple of other clubs, and just said, "Hey, would you mind if I advertise my club on your page? Because there might be people, closer to my area that don't want to travel either." And they were all gracious enough to say, "Yeah, hey, absolutely
I
have
got
at
it.
it." Because
I got it. Hey, can I use
yeah,
your page to steal your members? That's basically
well,
what, yeah, there you go.
yeah. So I mean, most of the members I have belong to a couple
To a
of
couple clubs. Yeah.
clubs, and and like I said, for $50, the meals alone are worth it. But we have club hunts. So you had mentioned the beach, where we are. We are literally almost surrounded by beaches. So I have
Yeah.
usually in the spring and one in the fall. I have a seated beach hunt for the members only, where I go out and
Right.
bury silver, or I bury
Great.
token prizes where they can get a prize if they find it, and it's just
Have
something.
you
Yeah.
have you ever used we'll say trips to seedy massage parlors to get members? Have you ever had to resort to that or
No, I've gotten some of my members from there. No, I'm
okay,
kidding.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it does. It
No,
works.
I
It
haven't
pays
had to
off.
do that yet. Um, Actually, yeah, like I said, I don't really recruit now because
Yeah,
I've
you
gotten
said
bigger than I wanted to be.
you're up to about 80 members.
Yeah, yeah.
Now watch
So,
this. Let me ask you this question.
absolutely.
How are your officers designated every year? Do you have elections?
So we do and we do not. I offered up, but nobody in the club has really shown any interest. I
Okay.
hate to say it, my position, I've never really offered it up. Our vice president, Patrick Hill, he came up and volunteered. One time he says, "Hey, do you need me to help out? Do you need a vice president and or treasurer, secretary, whatever have you?" And he came in as the vice president. Um, but yeah, so I ended up, I had my wife. She was the secretary and treasurer.
Because
I
here's the
had,
thing.
you know,
You build this whole empire and I'm not all joking aside, you build this empire and all of a sudden, you know, you start having elections every year
mhm,
and you could be ousted out of your own creation.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
some clubs that have been established for years and years and years now, okay, that's the way it runs, and I can understand that. We got our local club here. We got a couple clubs here where they're not the original creators, we'll say, or you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
You are the original creator of this group, the foundation, and I don't, that doesn't rub right with me that, now if you were to say, hey, I want to step down and then, guys are going to start voting for these positions, maybe so. But, you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into this. And
yeah,
I would want to protect, that position from someone coming and, Shanghaiing me. Bullshit.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and bringing in their own voters or whatever have you.
Yeah.
That could happen. I'm fortunate enough right now that I think all the
Correct.
membership sees it, and that they don't
Yeah.
want they don't want the headache, because
We,
there really is no gain in it.
we have a
Um,
club here. We have a club, great club. But the one guy has been president for 28 years because, and you run into the situation where no one else wants to
yeah,
do it. And it's, it's predominantly that way. But there are some other clubs out there that have their ups and downs, we'll say, their ins and outs, their turmoils, and this and that. And the voting process eliminates the active president, we'll say. But like I said, that active president isn't the person that created this
yeah, yeah,
foundation, which does mean it's a lot different than
yeah. And I mean, honestly, if there was any interest, if anybody showed any interest, um, we would have elections. But most
Yeah.
people just want to be members.
But you're saying everything is honky dory, everything is kosher. You want to do what you can to make your members feel welcomed,
Yep,
have a good club. You were telling me you're having activities,
yep,
you're feeding your members, which, listen, that's a plus. So,
yep.
how many people show up for the meetings? A lot of them, I'll bet, huh?
Well, yeah, roughly, because again, you see, it's we have members in like 4 or 5 different states, all the way up to New Hampshire. So members that actually show up to the meetings, on average, I would say, are anywhere from about 25 to about 30, the lower 30s, that show up.
Good.
And
That's a good turnout. It
oh
really
yeah,
is.
no, very good turnout. Very good turnout. And I'm sure other clubs say this just like I will, but I couldn't ask for a better group of people in the club.
I just
That's
got
why I think this hobby, just to talk about what other, it's the greatest hobby in the world. What a great group of people doing a great thing. And
I just got nominated to be the president of Can You Dig It with our friends Shelly and Dawn.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah. The answer is no.
Yeah,
I don't want to
it's
be president. I love this hobby, and it is fun, and like I said, it can be fun. So one club I met down in Florida, great club. They had their own property, which is because that's the one thing about clubs, and maybe you can help me answer this question or give me your opinion on this. All right, so a couple things about clubs that kind of are weird. A person metal detecting says, I want to join a club because maybe people will, I'm going to join a club and I'll go metal detecting with them. Now, I don't know what your club's like, but the clubs in Jersey are like, no, we'll all go to your property, but I'm never inviting you to mine. It's,
yeah.
that's the one thing. And then also, like I said, if a club has their own property, like this one club had their own property, they could not necessarily detect all the time because that gets hunted out real quick if you got a large
Mhm.
group. But they have events at that property. Like they don't have to go and get permits for a park or decide this and that. They got a property. They can have an event every week if they want.
Yeah.
Whether it's just a barbecue or anything else. Do you have any of that in your club? Do you have a property at all, or what do you do
Well,
about large groups?
so large groups really are, what I do, and the members will always tell you this too, is I find permissions. Up in Connecticut, just like most of the other New England towns, there are big farms, and we concentrate on these farms, try to get permissions, and I rely on a lot of our members to get permissions as well, because
So
I
you're
tell them,
so you're
I
telling
can't.
me
Yep, go
you're
ahead.
telling me that you'll come across a property where they say, "Yeah, bring all your members."
Uh, well, they won't say bring all of them. I'll
Right.
usually tell them it's limited. But yeah, no, actually, I'm working on one right now, that I think is going to be successful. And it's
Good.
going to be, yeah. And, when I told him how many people, I said between 20 and 25. He said, okay, no problem.
See,
You
that's
know,
a very big hurdle for clubs. I mean, I know I'm going to say that every president of every club around here
mhm,
says, yeah, I want to get a property and bring our whole club there and hunt, kind of like you, 20, 25
mhm.
or whatever. And it just never comes to fruition because it's the hardest thing. It's one of the hardest things to do.
It
You know
is.
what I
It
mean?
is
And
hard.
and if
Yes.
you're pulling that off, man, your members are going to love you because that's that's hard.
Yeah. So, and it fluctuates each year. I usually try to do at least 3 or 4 natural hunts. But I think last year, I think maybe we only did 2, maybe 3. Um,
Well, that's
but
great. Two or
again,
Listen, if you're getting 2 or 3 natural hunts a year for your club members,
Yeah,
that's 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 2 or 3 more than most clubs do.
yeah,
And I don't necessarily think, I know you want to do a seated hunt for your club, and that's always a nice thing. But you know what? I think if you took a survey of your club and said, would you rather have a natural or a seated? I'll bet you 2/3 or more are going to say they'd rather have natural property to go, to hunt.
absolutely, almost 100% positive. And that's where I tell my members then, okay, if you want these natural hunts, I need you to help me because you know somebody who knows somebody that has property.
Right.
Really, it's kind of word of mouth. Reach out to if
Yeah.
you have an aunt or an uncle, that has a friend that has 40, 50
Then,
acres. You
then,
know,
because every club has a story one way or another. Now, like I said, that the two main hurdles in metal detecting clubs are, having guys take each other to properties, in a smaller group
hmm
smaller group setting, and the large group, like we just discussed, because what happens after the hunt. I've heard many, many, many stories, and I've seen it. I've been involved in it. It's happened to me. You take a guy, and the next thing you know, they're knocking on the door the day after you've taken them.
Yep, yep,
You take a group, and the next day, someone from your group is just takes it upon themselves to go back on that
yeah,
property,
yep.
and that's that's what makes it an even higher hurdle, if you know
It
what I
is.
mean.
It is. And that's why, I wish I could, and I don't do it because I don't trust, you know, and I guess I shouldn't say I trust everybody because that's why we have to wait till a day or two before a hunt to announce the location.
But yeah, but
Um,
I'm talking after even. I was, you know
well,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and I'm talking even before because if you mention where you're going before, you know as well as I do, those same people are going to try to get on there beforehand, and try to detect. But yeah, no, we've had, and I've told everybody, and they've done it. And I tell the owners, I said, listen, after we're done here, I have nothing more to do with this. And I tell my members, you come back, you have to get permission from the owners. And
Right.
like you said, there are people that'll still try to sneak on, and so
But
forth and
even
so
but
on.
even getting but see, that's the whole thing is you take your whole group there, right? And
Yep.
you say, well, maybe you want to go this week, the next week, the week after, but the next day one of your members is there and screwing it up for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
know, and
it's yeah. It's
it's tough.
something. Yeah, it is tough. It is tough, and that's why, just like anything else, we're our own worst enemies. Sometimes,
Yeah.
just like I can't. It bothers me like I think it does almost all detectorists. The one thing I got to really stress during these group hunts is please fill your holes.
Well, that's
You're on people's property,
that's from
and
that's been happening since the creation of the
yeah,
shovel to fill
yeah,
your whole thing.
you
Yeah.
know. Takes 30 not even 30 seconds,
But like
10
I said,
seconds,
but like I
10
said,
seconds to fill a hole.
compared to the other trickery, filling in your holes is, something that happens on a regular basis. But the other trickery is blatant disregard for respect. We'll say a
Yeah,
blatant disregard for the respect, and that's the filling in the holes is one. Somebody might think they filled it in. You're going to have those types of things.
yeah,
But so let me just take a quick second here, folks. I'm seeing some. I hate to have to do this. And if you ever run a YouTube channel or a Facebook channel, it is the worst thing in the world for me. So I'm be quick. I know there's some people here to see George, and I appreciate it because I know you're not here to see me. Okay. And you've taken your time out of your day to come see what I refer to as the worst show on the internet. Okay. So feel privileged that you are here. There's no show lower than this one on the internet. Okay. Listen, bottom of the barrel, folks, bottom of the barrel. But you're not paying for these jokes either. Okay. We don't charge any tickets. But if you could take the time to subscribe, if you just hit like, subscribe, just you don't ever have to come back again. Just be a subscriber, and you know what, and then talk bad about me like everyone. You know what, subscribe and then go tell everybody how horrible we are.
Listen,
And
it's
I
just
appreciate
you
it.
know what you were saying reminds me of that line in Pirates of the Caribbean where he says to Johnny Depp, you know, you are by far the worst pirate I've ever heard of, and he says, but
Thank
you've heard of me.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember a long time ago,
Yep.
long time ago when we started the show. We used to do it out of Frank's shed, and I met a lady, and I said, "Have you ever seen Detect America?" She goes, "You mean that bunch of obnoxious guys that broadcast from his shed? I can't stand them. They're so rude and mean." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's me. And then she wound up watching and started liking it, but it
yeah,
was just
yeah,
so funny. Like, that's me. Um,
yeah.
and I listen, like I said, I personally, you know me, we're cops. We have this I don't need to impress anybody
Yeah,
mentality,
no.
okay? Because I know not everybody in this world likes me.
Yep.
Probably more than most don't. But I've taken a little bit of a vow to try and have guests on every week, and I thank you for joining me. I try and have guests on every week. I try to do as best I can in my interviews, my presentation. I try to keep the demeanor, as sometimes it gets bad. We've had some really bad behavior, we'll say. Some have referred to me as the problem child. So tonight I'm doing pretty darn good. I'm doing pretty
Yes.
good.
No.
So
Doing very good. And
now,
listen, to be able to get two cops together talking without one F bomb, that's pretty
oh,
impressive right there,
oh,
Steve.
yeah. And if you only knew what my language was off this show,
It's
um,
probably the same as mine, and so does everybody
so
else know about it.
now you retired as you reached the rank of chief.
Yeah, so I had retired at the rank of lieutenant. I went to another department,
Oh, okay.
worked my way up, went to deputy chief, worked as the interim chief for a year, went to the FBI National Academy. Then I left there, and I went to where I am now at Mitchell College, director of security there. And
But yeah, listen, you've been there, you've done that. I
that's it.
respect that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I was the opposite. I was on the street. I was a street cop. They weren't taking me off the streets. Unfortunately, there was it just
Yeah, yeah, yep,
and I liked being on the streets. It was
yeah,
I was a worker. I went there and I moved for 12 hours. I did, and but the best day was the last day. Honestly, I never
yeah,
thought I would say that. I told you, people thought they're like, "Oh, you can never let it go." Oh, Jesus, dude! The minute I walked out that
yep,
door, I felt like as I walked out that door. Right? This is a true story. I walked out that door and chains were breaking off my. Like if you can just
yeah.
picture big chains pulling me back, and they're just breaking off me as I walk out. That was what happened. And
Yeah.
then now you see, you use a key fob to get in and out of the building, right?
Yep.
Right. So this is my last day, and I walked out, and the chains broke, and I'm a free man. And I went, "Oh crap! I forgot something." I turned around, beep, beep,
Yep.
beep. My fob wasn't working. They
Yep.
locked me out the minute I said, "No, I'm banging on the door," and they're in there laughing. I'm like, "No,
Yeah. Yep.
listen. I came from a great department. Honestly, we're like a family. Hey, listen, the back room was where we argued. You know what? You have your demeanor on the streets, but you have dude. We used to have some big brawls in the back room. And I'm
Mhm.
sure you know what goes on in some of those,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's where it stayed. That's where
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
my guys could say whatever they wanted in the back room.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I tried to treat people the way I wanted to be treated. I didn't want to ask my guys to do anything I wouldn't have done. More than likely, I probably have done it,
Yeah.
and that's just the way I wanted to be. And now law enforcement is a lot different in a way. I'm not going to get into the trickeries of it, but it's a little different.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot of different.
It is
Yeah,
different.
no,
I never thought I'd say that because listen, when you started, right? All right, so you go in there on your first day. You got this brand new spanking uniform on, man. You don't have an ounce of fat on you.
Yep.
You have hair. You're going to go out and save the world. And you walk in the police station, and there's a guy sitting there that looks like me right now, like this, with his coffee, going, "Don't bother me."
Yep.
Right? And what's the first thing they said to you?
Don't talk on that radio.
No, like, why do you want to be a cop?
Oh yeah. Oh
What's
God.
wrong?
Yeah.
And I noticed that at every level of in my 5-year stage, in my 10th year, there was always the old crotchety guy going, "Why do you want to be in this job?"
Yep.
And now we're kind of at that stage where, like,
I can remember too looking and saying, "Oh my God, that guy's been here 25, 30 years. I'll never be like that. I'm gonna have to do something." And then I realized, holy cow, I've been doing it 36 years.
I know.
When
you walk in and you're looking at the guy and his uniform's got donut dust all over.
Yeah.
And you know what? And you're going, "Oh, look, he don't do nothing."
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. He was there the first day. He walked in too, and did his work.
Yeah,
but
the job does take a toll on you. It does, and anybody that says otherwise is full of it.
It took. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I don't lie to nobody. It took a toll on me. That's why I retired the day I could. I didn't leave a day early. I didn't leave a day late. It was the day I could, and it was probably and I loved being a cop. I loved my career. It was great. It was time to go.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had the advantage to, as we all do, serve 25 years, and that's all. And that was one of the reasons why I took the job. I said, you know what? If I'm still alive in 25 years, I can collect a pension at 20. Who else can work for 25 years and get a pension? You know what I mean? So here I was, 52 years old, walking out of there with a base salary for just sitting home. Yeah. Hello.
Yep.
Benefits. And we talked about the benefits. Now realize one thing: you're never going to see. This is what people want to poke fun at or attack cops. They get this. That. Well, guess what? We're only making X amount of dollars. We're not the private sector. In the private sector, people are making 2 and 3 times our salary. How they decide to spend it is on them. Mm-hmm. I was making a salary. I was investing money. I was investing in my pension. They were taking a lot of money out. I paid every week for my pension. Yep. So we weren't living like kings while we were working.
No, that's for sure not. No.
So, the people going, "Oh, well, you're lucky. You have this. You have a pension." Hey, dude, I earned it. Where were you? Where were you Christmas night? Because you know what? While my family's home sleeping, I'm out working Christmas Eve and Christmas night. While I'm sleeping on Christmas Day and the family's upstairs having Christmas because I got to sleep because I got to work that night. That's, where were you on weekends and holidays that we're working? And you know what I mean? And and you know what? The job part of it, I could handle. I handled the job part of it. No problem. Whatever happened that night was, no problem with me. It was just working the shift works that, and somebody goes, "There's a chance you could die at your job." If I told you how many, Scott McClory, he's a retired police officer too. He knows that. Listen, there were many times I probably, that I know of, almost didn't survive, or there was a chance I wouldn't have survived. You don't think about it, you just do. You know what I'm saying? And then how about the times that you don't even know about that things could have went, went south, and I didn't. That was the thing I didn't worry about. I didn't worry about that. That didn't,
Yeah.
But folks, George, here's what I got to do. I'm gonna cut out of here because at 9:00 on the Relic Roundup, our good friend, do you know KG and Ringy?
Oh yeah. Okay. I actually just spoke to them at Digstock just about a month ago.
Well, that was a big mistake. First off, mistake. Cavorting with them is a big mistake. Those two guys will steal your cell phone and take pictures on it that you can't imagine what you were seeing when you get your phone back. They will goof around. They will laugh.
They're very good guys.
They're honestly two of the greatest guys, and
Yep.
and they're very good friends of Detect America. And so I know I want to go over there and create some havoc on their show because they're going to be on there. But here's what as with every other guest on our show, I like to give you carte blanche to use our page, advertise your stuff on it. If you're going to have if
Excellent.
whatever you advertise, if you start doing YouTube videos or whatever, post it on our page, man. Have at it. Have a ball.
Great. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on our show. And
I greatly appreciate you having me. And I do appreciate the work you do to do this each week. People don't realize
don't because I suck at it. You as soon as you say that, people on the chat are going to just go crazy and breaking my stones. But yeah, no, please stay a friend of Detect America.
Yes.
Come back on.
Absolutely, I would love to be back on.
I don't know, let your club know you're coming on. I think we had a great topic. I think to bring the other aspect of a metal detecting club to light for some of the people who want to join as members. Let them know what it takes to be a president of a club, because it
is time consuming. I definitely more than I
told
had
you today. I said it's a thankless job, and I know it for a fact. But obviously, from your career, you have some administrative experience, some dealing with personality.
Yep.
What was it? Sensitive. They always. I had. You know how many times I had to go to that stuff? What was it? Sensitivity training.
Yeah, sensitivity training. Yes, then they call it verbal judo.
Yeah, that never worked for me. But what? Why did they send me to that so many times? Because as soon as I got done, I was right back at it again.
Oh yeah, I think almost every cop went to it at one point.
They said, "Didn't you learn anything from that?" And I was like, "F no."
Yeah.
But, hey, listen, we made it, brother. We made it. We can sit here and laugh. We made it across that finish line.
Yep.
Anything you want to add before I throw you off my show?
No, you know what? Once again, thank you for having me. It's a great club. If anybody's thinking or wants to think about joining, just reach out to me on the club page. We have a public page and a members only page. But and just real quick, thank God for my wife and my kids for helping me out with this. Or else I probably would have been way over my head when I started, to be honest.
And hopefully we do have, I know Karen Kosovsky lives up by your way. I don't know if she's near you or not, but we do have some folks from our page that are in your area, and maybe they will reach out to you.
That'd be great.
And if you do, if anyone reaches out to George to join, just tell them you're a member of Detect America, and you will win a free trip for two to the Caribbean from the Southern New England Relic Hunters Club. And probably, and if you do, you could take me along.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that's the caveat. You have to take me and Steve along.
Yeah, that's really what you want. That's what you want. You want but George, it's great meeting you. It's great having you. And listen, you know what, folks? Listen, see, this is the whole deal. I put it out. Don't be afraid of me. Was that hard to come on the show?
No, very easy.
Did I make you feel comfortable?
You made me feel very comfortable. I was getting ready to put on my bathrobe and start smoking my pipe.
You see what I mean? A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I can't. I'd be so scared." It's like the time flew. You didn't even know what hit you, and I got you to expose your deepest, darkest secrets of what it takes to be the president.
Exactly. It's lonely.
It's lonely at the top. Yeah, it really
is. It is. It's lonely at the top.
I wish you luck with the Southern New England Relic.
All right, Steve.
If there's anything we can help you out with on this page, you reach out.
Great, and you're a great person to talk to, and I really appreciate the time.
You say that now. Give 10 more minutes. You're going to say that guy's an idiot.
Yeah. I'm going to say, Christ, thank God it was over.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
And that's what I was aiming for. All right, George. Great. I'm going to boot you from it, and then I'm going to close this out. So thanks again, buddy.
Care.
Have a good night.
All right. See you, everybody.
All right,
Take care. Bye.
All right. So, folks, again, I'm doing this by myself. Did I pay George? No. So if you want to come on, you ain't. I'll pay you the same thing I paid him. Zero. This is what I get at. Yep. Where's the trip? Yep. See, Carly Potts is watching. Kaylee Potts is watching. I think Dad should send her to the Caribbean for free. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what presidents of these clubs should do. Folks, like I said, I'm going to continue to try and do as best I can. Again, I'm going to try and get an update on Frank, because you know what? He tells me one thing and he usually does another. He's not all there well, obviously, he's not there all there mentally. So I'm going to try and keep an eye on that old coot. Also, maybe listen, I've been trying to broadcast. I know I broadcasted a hunt yesterday that I didn't even talk about, and I don't have time. Well, yeah, I guess I do. I got a couple minutes. So about a week or two ago, I posted on the page of how I did a ring find. Gentleman lost his ring while doing gardening. He lost his wedding ring. I go out there and I go, "Where'd you lose it?" He goes, "Right around here, some bingo, bango, boingo." There it is. And the last thing I said to him when I left was, I said, "Don't wear your wedding ring while you're doing yard work." I didn't know he was going to take me so literally. And you know what? I drove away thinking, man, I should have just asked him if I could detect his yard, because you know what? The yard wasn't very well manicured. You would never notice. I said, I should have asked, whatever. I you know what? I could find the guy's ring and they'd still tell me, no, I couldn't hunt their property. So whatever. So Easter morning. Now it's Easter morning. Yeah, Scott, Scott, you texted me about that. I'll get into that. So Easter morning, they send me a message. "You're not going to believe this." I'm like, what? What am I not going to believe? They go, yeah, he lost another gold ring in the yard. I'm like, what the hell's this guy doing wearing a gold ring while he's doing yard? It was just there. So I get out there and I said, "Look, and you guys know me. Okay, I like to make fun." So I pulled up and I said, "Listen," I said, "I'll tell you what. Once I find this ring, then I'm gonna break your stones. Then I'm gonna bust on you big time." He's laughing. He's a nice kid. And if you don't know from the first video, the young lady, I didn't even know it, turned out to be a girl that I taught in school when I was a police officer in town. So she grew up in town and she knew me. It was her married name. She goes, "Yeah, you were my police officer." So now the second time I'm out there, I'm like, you really seriously, you were wearing another ring?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "It was my grandpa's promise ring to my grandmother, and he was wearing it. This is another family heirloom made out of gold." So started looking around, and he pointed where he thought it might be in the dirt, and I wasn't. First signal I got was perfect. The first signal I got was a gold ring signal on that Manicore, which is a 45, a nice small dot on that line. I'm like, I think this is it, because it's where he pointed. I'm like, this could be it. It wasn't it. So I kind of looked wherever he pointed around, and no, he didn't. We couldn't find it. So I start just scouring the yard. And I'm telling him, I said to him, sometimes I've found rings that are just laying right on top because they just lost it the day before. It's not going to go in the dirt at all, And he walked away from me, and bam, there I found it. And it was the machine found it. The machine found it, and it was like when you saw the video, you could see the ring pretty clearly. But now I picked it up and then I put it down. So then I called him over and I showed him that I had found it, and we were just laughing. Oh my God, it was hilarious. So if you saw that video, because I did do a video of it, and then he left for the day, and there I was going through his yard with the Manicore. Now this is the thing, and I know listen. I put my camera on a neck mount, a little thing that goes around my, and I can't see it. I can't see what it's showing. I don't know which direction it's showing. And then the next thing you know, I don't know how it goes upside down, but I saw on the chat that I was upside down, this and that, and I'm like, you know what? So I do as best. I don't edit my videos. I don't go back and edit and show you all the good things I found. I show the truth. I wanted to do it to where you could see the machine do the work, what numbers I was getting, what the screen was looking like, and I wanted everyone to see that. That's how I wanted them to see the video. Listen, I'm not out there to lie. I'm not out there to say I'm the greatest metal detectorist in the world. I'm doing a live hunt. If I find something, I find something. If I don't, I don't. Right now, I'm out to show people how the manicore is working while I learn the machine. So hopefully my videos aren't the worst. I'm sorry it was upside down. I suck. I'm sorry this show sucks. But guess what? You get what you pay for, folks. You get what you pay for. Until you start buying tickets and lining up at the door, can't complain. Until you pay for tickets. Pay me for the show, then you can kill me. I didn't see anywhere when my boys were Mike Baumhoff and Don Wentworth, and I tried to keep an eye on the chat, but seeing everybody out there. So listen, folks, like I said, if you're still here, please subscribe to the channel. Let's get over to the Relic Roundup with Butch Holcomb, Debbie Schiffer Blades, and Jeff Lupert. Jeff Lupert hates me, dude. That guy don't like me. I'm telling you, the guy don't like me. He's all business. He is in the box, and when I get there and I start goofing around, like watch, I'll go over there and I'll make comments and I'll block me. I go over there and start making funny comments. He's gonna block me. I guarantee I get on that show and I get blocked. You guys watch it. Watch. We're going over to. I don't know why my phone was upside down. It just flipped. It wasn't. It flipped it. It didn't. The phone didn't. I don't know. I'm an idiot. So listen, everybody, go over to Relic Roundup, and if I start getting blocked, if you don't, you watch. He's gonna block me because I'm gonna make fun. I'm gonna make fun of KG. You know why? Because I can. You know what? He makes fun of me. Folks, listen, I'll figure something out for next week. Maybe it'll be open mic night. Again, if you think you want to come on and do what George did and everything else, please, I don't bite. I'm going to make it as easy as possible for you. Folks, let's have a good night. It's spring. Spring is springing. Like I said, I spelled it a little wrong, but spring is springing. And let's get out into tech because I know I might be out tomorrow. And do a broadcast. So, all right, guys. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here.